You know what? We'll do the black men thing, because I am black.
Hey, good humans. Before we start this
I think.
episode, we've got a big announcement to make. We're gonna be having a.
Are you tired of seeing this guy intro every single Jubilee?
Hey,
video?
this is the same intro as before.
About 6 Christians versus 1 atheist.
Ooh, I like that. Or how about Republicans and Democrats? Perfect.
Are you tired of seeing the same episode ideas over and over again? Do you have a better idea for an episode that you're dying to see?
Yep.
Meeting in 5 minutes.
Are you tired of always working? Do you need a vacation? Well, Jubilee is doing a sweepstakes where you can win the chance to appear in
Dude, how about streamers
streamers
versus like YouTubers, the video makers, content
You'll
creators.
also get your
Well, they're all
ideas
content
heard,
creators,
because
but
you'll win a chance
how
to
about
help us
streamers
decide
versus
on a topic
YouTubers?
for one
That'd
of
be
your favorite
interesting.
Jubilee series. But it doesn't stop there. We'll fly you down to LA, pay for your stay for the weekend, and to top it off, we'll give you tickets to Disneyland. You can enter the sweepstakes by buying any item of merch from our store, starting now through Friday, August 27th at 11:59 Pacific time. One lucky customer will be chosen at random and contacted via email. Please see the link in the description for complete and official rules. Must be 18 or older and a U.S. resident, not eligible for Rhode Island residents. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited.
Black men that date white
Nice.
women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like you oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that.
What? I mean, I guess, yeah. No shit.
I am expected to have a big 3, 2,
Dude,
One,
everyone better go and
go.
agree. Of course, dude. Yeah, dude, no shit. Yeah, like no shit. Does that mean that you should go into a relationship like you know, being that confident, like, oh yeah, I have a giant cock? No, dude, like, but it's definitely an expectation, and I've had my share of that.
Nobody disagrees. Yo. Yeah, I feel like it's a stereotype.
Oh yeah.
We know that stereotypes aren't realistic, but I mean, personal encounters, I don't feel like there's leeway. I feel like, okay, that one we're keeping. Like that's what the general notion is.
I think it gets into the issue of positive and negative stereotypes and how people need to realize that there is no such thing, because what you do is you put people into a box where they're expected to live up to a standard.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's
it's
what
over
yeah.
sexualizing black men. You know, you should want
Yeah.
to date someone more for the pleasure physically that they can bring to you.
100%.
And I know I've talked to people personally who will be like, "Oh, you're lucky you're black. You have a big member." And I'm like, well, I have other things to offer too. Like, I'm well spoken.
Yeah.
I have a good sense of humor. I'm well traveled. Like, you go straight
True.
to like what's underneath my zipper.
Yeah, I mean that's been my experience a lot of times.
Very,
especially,
yeah.
You know, meeting
That was
different
very
people,
well
that's the
spoken, actually.
expectation. And I just tell them 2-inch Punisher. You know, don't expect too much. I'm just joking, but it's
No, you're not. No,
I
you're
think
not.
a lot of people watch a lot of porn too, and that's where it comes from. Like when you watch a lot of porn, you see
That's
you know,
true.
these mandingos
Blacked.
and 10-inch monsters, and they expect that to be reality. And
I
a lot
wish
of
it was
times
reality,
it's not.
honestly.
But that's the expectation that they have.
wish.
So
So, our audience submit hot takes about
Oh,
this
shit.
specifically, and they are hot. So, black men cheat on their significant others far more than other races.
What?
It's like, where's this study published? Did someone do
Yeah.
some research where
I
they
don't-
calculated numbers over a given period of time?
No,
The reason
that's
why I was gonna
such
be neutral is 'cause
bullshit.
I don't know the numbers. Like,
Is
I
that-
don't
that's what I'm
know. I don't
saying.
know
That's
if
why I'm like,
that's
I
true or not.
don't-
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah. So I came this way because of the keyword far more. I was like, do black men cheat? In generally, like you're not apt to not cheat because of the color of your skin.
To prescribe this to race feels nefarious in a way that I feel like it was coming from a place of somebody that got cheated on by a black man.
Maybe,
It
yeah.
was like, yeah, black men cheat
Yeah,
all the time. Come on,
true.
this doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make
Black
sense.
men
That's
are
bullshit.
attracted to big butts.
Is it?
I
Do you
think-
agree with this? That statement?
Nah, bro. I think men are attracted to big butts. Okay, trust me. There has never been a time where I've been with the boys, right, and race divided who liked what. Okay, like, and for me, I don't like big butts, right? Like huge, you know, bazonkas, right? But most dudes just generally like big butts. All right, and that has nothing to do with race. Trust me.
Or do I personally?
I mean, there's nothing biologically innate to like black men to, you know, to like
Yeah.
ass.
I think it ties into hip hop and the whole strip club scene right now. We are
True.
so far gone from like the natural aesthetics of just a natural person that right
Mhm.
now it's all about who has the baddest ass.
Yeah,
Who
true.
ass is 25 pounds with 2-pound legs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's hot for some reason. And I personally don't get it. I mean, it looks unnatural to me. Like, you know,
I agree.
but, I mean, a nice ass is just a nice ass though.
Bro, black people are funny, and if you ever try and roast one of them, they will roast your ass so hard that you'll have no roast to rebuttal.
Yo.
I just that.
I get what he's saying. I think black.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna say this quick. I don't think black people generally are just like, you know, just funny automatically because they're black. I think most black upbringing come from a place of a lot of joking, a lot of roasting, a lot of you know, you get somebody and you got to come back with something harder, you know, and that's just like, you know, like I think that's just like most, like, you know, grow up and like if you grow up like in, you know, more ghetto parts where, you know, there are just a higher population of black people and you grew up in that place, you know, you kind of just have to, you know, grow up with that sense of humor. So usually, you know, you get hit with a lot of more comebacks and funny things because they kind of just grew up like that. That'd be the same for anybody that grew up in like that. But most of the time, it's just I think the higher population of black people do grow up like that. So
People as a collective are funny.
If you go to Black Twitter, if you go to Black Instagram, Black Facebook, like you're going to laugh.
So I think that in that aspect, that's why like that statement has so much truth in it because you just it's like.
So I guess it's like the question is like, black people as a whole, are they funny? Or is like any black person gonna knock your ass off because he's super funny? Like, I think that's just the difference.
Yeah.
Black people as a whole, like, yeah, they got jokes.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back and forth, cool.
That's why I said as a
But
collective.
don't think that any black person you
No,
go to
I'm not funny at
expect
all.
like a really good joke, you know?
The N-word should stop being used.
That
by
I agree
all
with.
races.
I'm not even positive.
Three,
I just agree with that.
2, 1.
I'm
go.
actually very curious. Interesting. Very divided.
I just think the N-word, when you look at the root of the word, even slaves would use it to describe other black people when accepting their supposed oppression. So I just think, when I think about that, I don't think you can do anything to erase the history and the blood that's been shed on that word. There are so many people who the last thing they heard was the N-word as they were being murdered. So
I mean, yeah.
When I think about that, yes, I think the word should stop being used.
Personally, me,
Oh, okay, yeah, he agrees. Yeah. No, I agree, yeah. But like at the same time, I don't think that's really the reason for it. I think it's more so of just like nowadays, like for me, it's like, yeah, okay, everything happened in the past. You know, all that shit happened and you know, that's something that we have to live with, and that's yeah, that word is terrible because of that, right? But it's also because I think nowadays that word has no meaning. Like yeah, there are people that use it and think that has a meaning, but if you're a black person and you know you grew up with that word being used in a hostile manner against you, and you know at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't hit you, like it doesn't hurt you anymore because they can't really hurt you. They can just use the word, and if you want to you take the past and hurt yourself because of it, because of what was done in the past, what was said in the past, and how they want to use it against you, that's really a personal problem. I think personally, I think if you get hurt by that word nowadays, you're just it's just a you thing. It doesn't mean anything, and so using that word, I think what you're doing is you're just trying to bring something from the past that has no meaning anymore. You don't have to worry about slavery anymore. You don't have to worry about being degraded besides being using that word. I just think it has no meaning. So what's the point of using it? Anybody, any races, there's no point of using it. It's just a meaningless word now. It just stopped. It's kind of just like a stop.
I
There's
feel
no
like
point.
It kind of starts with us. The fact
That's
that
just
we
me,
make
though,
it so
personally.
cool
That's
within
what I
music
think.
and within like entertainment, that it lets other people feel like they have a pass, or that it's okay because my
That's
favorite rapper
true.
said it, or I
That's
heard it
true.
here, or you guys say it all the time. How come I can't say it? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's black culture pain, and if anyone's going to be using it, it should only be us, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's like you're saying if anybody should be using it. It's like, but nobody should be using it. And that's kind of the whole thing. It's like, it's not asking like, It's not asking, oh, if you can say it, is it okay for a white person to say it? No, that's not the question. The question is, should it be stopped? Should it stop being used by all races? You know what I mean? It's like, that's not the quick question. I think he, you know,
Can't really own a word. I think, you know,
Yeah,
we
I agree.
can own it in the sense where it's a black cultural thing, but the idea where we kind of make it out to where we say like, oh, other people can't say it. I think that's more of like a insecurity within the black culture of not being able to hold power, because historically it's like, right, historically black people didn't have as much power, so we're trying to hold on to literally a
Yeah.
word that only has meaning because we add meaning to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. He said it way better than I did. That's exactly what I mean. It only holds a meaning because we add meaning to it. Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Respectfully, I ain't trying to hear that, right? Like, I feel like the only reason it's policed so much, and I feel like the only reason we even have like this debate or this debacle over whether we can use it or not is because we're black people. And I'm not one of those people that think everything is racist and all that, but in this specific instance, right? In several instances, women in many instances have reclaimed the word bitch to be a term of endearment.
That's true.
In the 90s, there was heavier women reclaimed the word fat, obviously respelling it and things like that. But I feel like in those instances, nobody bats an eye. Why is that understood? But with this, it's so confusing. Like, oh, I don't know if like, you know when there are boundaries set. And
That's because the N-word was used in such a heavier manner. It wasn't just some insult. It was used to degrade black people and slaves and all that. It was used to make people feel like nothing. You know what I mean? It was used to what's the word? It was used to just put black people in this category of nothing. And when you compare that to bitch or, you know, fat, what like he said, it's like, that's not the same. Those are just random insults that, you know, can hurt people's feelings. That the N-word was used to, you know, destroy people and kill people. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
word is one of the boundaries that I think we have respectfully and rightfully set up for ourselves. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to hear the like, if we use it, why can't it? We do that all the time with a bunch of different things.
But that's
And I
not the
don't think
question.
This should be one of the areas where we're like, yeah, let everybody. Nah, I'm not.
Well, I
letting
think it
everybody
goes
say
back
that.
to
That's not the question. See, he says these two have they're looking at the question the wrong way. They're looking at it like, oh, if we can use it, then can all other races? No. The question is, should it stop being used by all races? And they're not answering that. And it's like, yeah, of course, if you had to use it, it should only be used by black people, right? I agree with that. It shouldn't be used at all. Like, it just shouldn't be used by anybody. But you know, you can't just, you know, you can't just say like what they're saying. It shouldn't be used at all. It shouldn't.
It goes back to where you're saying boundaries, because when you break down to inner communities where, you know, blacks and Asians, blacks and whites in hip hop culture, where there's like, it's 5 group of friends and their black friends don't care. They're like, say it.
Yeah.
Like that happens. So it's like,
Yeah.
we're having this broad conversation, and, you know, I know all of us aren't trying to be the spokespeople for black people, right? But it's like, it's such a convoluted, I guess, topic where it's like the expectations aren't clear to people depending where you are. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, like it's very unclear. That's what I think. I'm not arguing whether or not it's okay to say it or whether white people should say it. I'm just saying, if we don't want white people to say it, I think it needs to be very clear. And I think even in fact in this new age of our culture, I think we're seeing more people saying we don't want white people to say it.
But that's the thing. It's like, it shouldn't just be about like, yeah, that's one thing, but it should be another thing where it's like, it shouldn't. We just shouldn't use it at all. You know what I mean? It just should be a thing where it's like, what's the point? You know, it has so much hurt, so much background. Why even use it and bring it up? To make it, you know, if we just didn't use it and just left it alone, like, it wouldn't even become a problem. I think.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community.
Oh, 100%.
3,
Yes.
2, 1.
100%.
Go.
Yeah. You cannot disagree there. Yeah, 100%.
A lot of us black men, we will rather be friends with the homie that, you know, probably has rape attached to his name than the homie that's part of the LGBTQ plus community.
Jesus.
And I think that that's something that, you know, we got to work on as people, because my thing is, I don't understand the whole big phobia of, okay, what he decides to do in his free time or behind closed doors, why does that bother you so much? Why does that affect you?
That's just
why do you
homophobia,
feel
though,
like
you know?
it's such,
It doesn't make
like,
any
the scum of
sense.
the earth?
And I
Same with
also think it comes
racism.
from
It
religion,
doesn't make any
because
sense.
I don't want to get too controversial with that, but people are very religious, especially in the
That's
black
true.
community, you know, Christians and
That's very true.
And you know, when you talk about the Bible, you know, they say, you know, homosexuality is a sin. So a lot of people have that ingrained in their mind. This is absolutely not right.
That's
and
true,
For
yeah.
a lot of people too, when they see a man, they want to see a manly man, and they associate that with being straight.
Heterosexual men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense. And so they're afraid of that treatment. And I'm on somewhat agree because I'm rather torn. I think I've lived a life where I'm around very open-minded, inclusive people. So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is in the community, but I know that
So he's
in
been kind of
the Black
closed off
church
from
sphere,
the reality.
homosexuality is often made out to be the worst thing that you can be. There's almost nothing worse than being gay. And I think that's also where some of the homophobia comes from. We like to ignore all the other sins, all the other things that the Bible outlines that are not, you know, holy. And then we just take homosexuality and we make it the worst. You know, granted, the Bible says it's an abomination. I get that. But the Bible says any sin will send you to hell. So
You can't be pro-black and date a white person. 3, 2, 1.
You
go.
can't be pro-black and date a white person.
I think really.
Wait. What does pro-black mean? Like, what does pro-black mean? The uplifting of black people. Pro-black is a lifestyle that encourages the economic growth and development of the black people as a whole, with the purpose of increasing the wealth and population of black people around the world. Whether it be spending money with black-owned businesses, black-owned business in your communities or online, promoting love for black people and encouraging black youth. Youth is its sole purposes to keep uplifting black people in America to be proud in the same time. Yeah, of course you can date a white person and be pro-black. That's just race. I mean, okay, that's not race. I mean, I guess that's not racism, but I mean, if you look at it like this, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna promote black, you know, everything, right? Like, I want to make black businesses grow. I want to support my community. I want to support my family. That's dope. But then I can't be around white people, and I can't date white people because I'm promoting black people. That's racism. You're still dividing these two cultures, right? These two races, sorry, and you're putting a line between them. Like, just because you're promoting black people means you can't be around white people. You can't love white people. That makes no sense. You know, it's one thing to like be around white people that are racist towards black people, but if you have a white girlfriend and, you know, she is, you know, super supportive of black people and black communities, and she wants to be around, shoot, dude, my black family has like tons of white people in there because, you know, we're a family. If they're friendly, they're family, then they're family. That's what matters. It's not about, you know, it shouldn't be about race at all. Just because you promote black people doesn't mean you can't still, you know, date a white person. That's such a terrible question, I think. And the fact that this guy completely agrees with that just kind of shows a hypocrisy.
The issue with this statement is, for me, if you are a stand-up person and you stand up on your morals and your character, it doesn't matter who you date. And I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people get into, you know, interracial relationships, or they date white people and they forget who they are. And if you are pro-black, It doesn't matter if you're dating a black person, a white person, because you can date a white woman and a black woman and still not even be for the cause. So I really think it's up to the person
Yeah.
if they stand on their morals or not.
Exactly.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally, me, I feel like if you're pro-black, you're pro-black for everything. Like you're for the advancement of the race, you're for businesses, you're for
See, but that's
everything
just
black. So
you're still
it's kinda hard for
dividing
me to
two races, or
understand how
you know,
someone can be
dividing black from
pro-black
other
and
races.
want so much for the black culture and the black race, and then they're in a relationship with someone that doesn't represent that.
So are you saying that if you are black and you're pro-black, you cannot act on attraction to someone from another race?
Personally, I'm not pro-black, but in my mindset, like I'm saying, if you're pro-black, you wouldn't find someone that's not black attractive to me. Not saying attractive, but you wouldn't even want to cross that line.
So you're putting, so this guy's putting a line, and I hate this because he's putting a line between, like, oh, if you can only support black people and black businesses and black everything, black children, if you are completely attracted and only like black people. You can't like other races. You can't like white people. You can't like Asian or Mexican or whatever. So you're basically just becoming racist at that point, because black people are the only people that can be racist, or that can have their race be, well, I keep forgetting that word. Whatever. All the races besides black people can't be the only ones that's racist. Black people can be racist. I met plenty of black racist people. I love you too, Freddie. I met plenty of racist black people, right? And it's like, this guy, you're putting this like line, and it's like, doesn't need to be there. It doesn't have to be there. You're just becoming racist at that point.
Engage in a relationship with them. You can have
oh yeah, sorry, I care about black people and black people only. So you're gross to me. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
Like lust, like, hey, she's an attractive white woman, but ideally you want black kids, you want black family, you want your lineage to carry on.
Just because you have a white wife doesn't mean your kids will be any less black.
Like
Sorry.
Negates.
Just because they're mixed doesn't mean they're any less black.
Of the country. I mean,
they're
black
still
folks
colored.
make up 13% of the country, roughly, and a lot of the time we live in concentrations. So, you know what I'm saying? If you in Iowa, it's gonna be a little tough to find you like a black woman, especially somebody that might identify as pro-black with you. So I think it depends on what you do.
True. How you doing, by the way, Freddie? How you doing?
Who you decide to be with.
My first response to that is like, what's the point of looking at people differently? It's like we get upset that people do it to us in generally, like looking at black people and judging them and stereotyping them and making assumptions about them. Is like, so on the flip side, why should we be doing that to other people?
Exactly. I like this
their
guy.
Relationship depending on the color of their skin.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, I do. Like I look at people differently based on who they marry. Because dating, you could be dating for fun. I feel like I look at people different based on who they marry. Like Jordan Peele, Childish Gambino, I feel like I can look at them and be like, I'm not looking down on them. I don't think of them negatively, but I'm like, oh, I see. And like,
but why?
Okay, I see. Like, because like black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like,
no, but there's nothing different at all. I think it's a terrible take. There's nothing different if you want to date a white woman. If that's something you're attracted to, that especially the people that don't have a specific race that they're attracted to, they just like all women or all men. You know what I mean? It's like, can we turn on the sounds, please? I'm sorry. I'm just I kind of want to focus on the video. It's like you that's such a terrible take. You can't sit there and treat somebody differently. And this is the problem, I think, in the black community. And is like, people that are mixed or not as black are treated not black or not like them. And he is contributing to that. And that happened to me throughout like my entire childhood. And even nowadays, it's like, people treat me differently because I'm not black. I'm not completely black. I'm mixed or light skinned. And they still divide us. And it's like, you try to fight for equality and not being oppressed and not being, pushed away from society because of your skin color, yet you're doing that to your own people. It makes no sense.
Oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I could see that. I can't think of another example, but I feel like I can tell, like, okay, like that's cool, you know, I'm happy, you happy. It's no disrespect to them, but I see the difference.
But
I prefer a
you're so
light-skinned
disrespecting
partner to a dark-skinned partner. 3, 2,
I think you should disagree on that.
1, go.
Yeah, disagree.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a
Now,
dark-skinned partner.
it is okay to have preferences, right? It is okay to like somebody and feel attracted to them, you know, more, you know, if maybe you're attracted to lighter skinned people or even white people or, you know, Mexican people or whatever. But it's not okay to see that as like a, you know, oh, you know, there should be a preference no matter what.
I don't
Good
play
for you,
them
man.
colorism games over here.
All right, so the reason why subconsciously for me, the reason why I feel that way is, you know, growing up, I was always, you know, bullied for my skin color. I always felt out of place. You know, I was always told I'm not black enough. And when you constantly hear that, you get beat down with that, and you know,
you're not black
you doubt
enough.
Yourself. And like
See?
I said, I grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a foster
You know,
care system, so I never. It took
he's
me a
blacker
long
than
time to
me,
figure out myself.
and it's like there's
And
still this
for a
like,
lot of
oh,
times,
you're
I
not
don't
black
tell a lot
enough.
of people this, but I used to hate the way I looked. I was like, I don't like being dark skinned. I want to be light, and I'm just being honest. But now I'm more comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
I guess
I was the same
question.
way.
Do you think it's because you look at a potential partner as lighter skinned so that your, you know, potential children or so would be lighter skinned so they don't have to go through what you feel like you went through?
Nah, you know,
No,
at the
that
end of
just
the day,
that
for
doesn't
me,
that defeats the purpose.
I'll marry whoever I seem fit. So it really doesn't, to me, matter about the skin color. But
Yeah.
I will admit, subconsciously, I do think, you know, when I see a light-skinned woman, I actually, you know, look a little longer, or I might linger.
Yeah.
A little,
Which is
longer,
okay to
or
be
a little
more attracted
interested just
to
because
certain
of,
people.
You know, that consciousness that I had growing up. So it's not something that I say that dark-skinned women are far unsuperior or light-skinned women are more superior. It's just because of the constant beat down and the constant hatred about me being dark-skinned and the way I was treated, that subconsciously I do think that way.
But do you feel like you have some sort of like self-hatred because of that?
Yeah, well, not anymore, because it took me a long time. I mean, this started happening, you know, like I said, when I was 6, when I got in foster care. So, but now I'm more comfortable with looking at myself. I'm a good-looking, tall glass of chocolate milk. So, you know.
Chocolate.
There you go.
I have a question. Like, do you at all feel like you've become the person that bullied you by then having this preference toward lighter skinned people as opposed to someone that would look like you?
I will admit, yes.
Wait, no. See, this guy has the worst fucking takes. I hate this guy, honestly. It just okay. There's a difference between liking and preferring a certain person because of their looks, you know, and feeling more attracted to that person, compared to, oh, you're not black enough to be, you know, you're not black enough, so you're not black, you know, you're not considered family, you're not considered one of us, and being oppressed because of that. You're not oppressing other black women because you're not attracted to them. You're just saying that, hey, you're not my preference, but I still love you, and you're still family, and I'm still down to be like, you know, I'm still down. I'm still down to be friends, and I'm still down to be cool. But like, maybe I won't date you. You know what I mean? I mean, shoot, maybe I will. Maybe, you know, maybe if you're, you know, if I find attraction somewhere else, you know,
shooting the realism. So I do agree with that. Yeah, and I think
I don't think you should agree.
That's why now I'm focusing on myself, and you know, being a part of this discussion is very important for me, because I'm starting to, you know, realize
I don't think you should agree with that.
Prejudice needs to go.
I think
and
he's too nice.
This a lot in the entertainment industry now, where, you know, they want a black woman, but they want your complexion. They want that light skin that look like she can go in between the white family and the black family. And I think I only speak openly about it because I know there's a lot of people who feel that way too, but they don't want to admit to it, or they don't want to express it and, you know, be rejected. So I mean, you see it in the media too, so I think that plays a big part in that too.
I currently go to therapy. 3, 2, 1, go.
I think the question should have been, I currently go to therapy because of something with my race or something like that.
Me and my girlfriend's my therapist, but she don't like that. So I'm thinking about going fairly soon just to speak my mind, because I feel like there's a lot of things that, everything's cool up front, but everyone has like something that's just like digging at them somewhat internally that, may hinder them in some sort of way, and I feel like, if you have that type of feeling, like, you should go.
Yeah.
Therapy can be going to the beach or like going out to eat or doing something that relaxes you. So
Physical therapy, going to the
Hold
gym.
on, hold
Okay, well, that's not what the
We have to
question
be able to
is.
draw a line.
I know what I'm saying. It's open to interpretation. I'm here
Well,
because
yeah.
I took it as like sitting in front of a therapist, someone licensed to do
Yeah.
this. Do I do that? No. Do I find other avenues to relieve stress?
That's
or whatever?
true.
Yes.
But you can't
clear.
mix up self-care with therapy.
Okay,
It's
maybe that's what
two
I'm
different
doing.
things.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been in therapy for quite some time, personal therapy, just for myself, just issues that I have internally that I speak with someone with on a professional level. I recommend therapy. Therapy is literally the best thing you could possibly do.
For me, I find therapy in my faith, and I know there are a lot of people who they look at like, the Christian church specifically and might not adhere to that. But I think in recent years, the church has been adding more professionalism to what therapy means.
Having these conversations, for some reason, it makes you feel like of less of a man, because when we talk about therapy, people like, really? You going to therapy? But when you think about it, that's why a lot of people have anger issues. That's why a lot of black men have anger issues, because, they grow up a certain way or they face a lot of challenges and they don't know how to express it.
They don't know how to
the
handle
first thing
it.
they do is they take it out on you or their girlfriend or their mom, and they don't have someone or an outlet to express it. So I think we need to normalize going to therapy and not pushing it off as a white thing. We need it. We need healing.
Honestly,
we need
though,
somebody to
I don't
talk
think
to
I've
us.
ever heard of therapy being a white thing, and being like, that's one thing that I can't really agree with, or not agree with, but I can't really relate to, is I've never been like oppressed for going to therapy because of my skin color. I've been, oppressed for going to therapy because I'm a man, or because I'm supposed to be strong or whatever.
I think
But it's not
trauma
never because of my skin
is
color.
going to help black people progress instead of just getting more trauma piling on top of each other. And in a lot of ways, that does come into an aspect of personal responsibility, because it's like my issues with my dad at a certain point has nothing to do with him anymore. At a certain point, it has to do with me and how I process it. And I have to go from, do I want to get angry every time I'm in the same room as him, or do I want to be able to walk in the same room as him and not have that reaction? And that was what I processed in my head when I was going through that therapy.
Yeah.
My father was present in my life.
Interesting.
3, 2, 1, go.
Well, he was a foster.
Not
he
to
was,
jump into this one, like I absolutely love my dad. I'm even getting a little emotional thinking about
he
my
was
dad. My dad's amazing. My dad was there for me in every way, shape, or form, every facet, every way that he could be there for me and more. He was there for me. He was there to pick me up from school. He was there at my soccer games, my track meets. He was my
good for
coach
you, dude.
for soccer
We get it.
one year.
We get it. Good, dude.
My dad
good,
taught
good for
me
you.
everything that I know.
Yep, that's great,
almost.
man. Good,
He
good
is
for
who
you.
I modeled my personality after.
Good for you, man. That's great.
He is who I aspire to
that's
be.
amazing.
I don't think I
playing.
could have had a better father. It's almost why I'm discouraged to have kids, because I feel the pressure to live up to the example that he set for me. So he was there, still is.
I said somewhat disagree, because I ended up being put in foster care when I was 6 years old with a couple of my younger brothers. And I remember, I don't remember what my dad looks like, but I do remember he passed away when I was around 7 or 8. So I can't really fault him for that. But, my mom, she was widowed, so she lost a husband, and she decided to take care of us. And I
He just kept talking
think
about it, man.
my life would be any different. I don't regret not having a dad, but sometimes I do wonder, secretly, what life would have been like if I had that fatherly figure in my life. And I think that's another stereotype, that, black men don't have their fathers in their life. And it's good to see, a lot of y'all out over there.
For me, my dad was not as present as he could have been. He's a typical older Belizean dude. Their culture is just very different from American culture. It's very passive aggressive. I remember times being young and I would question my mom all the time, like, hey, like, why is he not around? Why is he not there? And, she did the best she could as a single mother. Now I can say my dad is very present in my life. However, I feel like our relationship is very, like, financial based, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't have a
I
real
feel that.
connection with my father. Like he's there for
feel
me
that.
if I need something, like if I need to, like if I want this, if I want that, like he's always there for me, like
Yeah.
money wise. But I feel like I'm still like desiring for that real connection, like how you mentioned how you have that mental connection with your father. Like I feel like I don't have that. So that kind of puts a desire into me to where I'm desperate now to be a father. Not desperate, but I'm desperate to be a father, that I want to do it right and give the things and you know,
just
make
to be
sure
a
that
good
I nurture
father.
my kid more than just the money.
And I feel
aspect of
that.
things.
That's
Like,
kind of how
wanna
I
be
feel
there
too. I can relate to that heavily. I think it's not like that, oh, I want to be a dad because I want to show him. It's more just like a, you know, if I ever become a dad, I know I want to be a good one, and I'm desperate to have a better connection with my children than my dad did.
You know, and always possible. I kind of feel like now I kind of just suppress it and try to ignore it because he's here now, which I definitely feel like I shouldn't do.
I think that it's never too late to mend a relationship. It's never too late to rewrite the story. I mean, you can't go back in time and change anything.
I'm sorry.
Definitely mend the relationship.
I'm sorry, but you cannot say that. That's not true. It is extremely difficult to mend a relationship, especially if the father does not understand how to do so. You can't make somebody do something that they don't understand or don't want to understand or don't know how to do. And it's easy for him to say, because his relationship is extremely good. It's you know, he talked how great it is, right? So it's like it's I think it's extremely just different. Like you cannot say that it's easy to just mend a relationship as possible, because sometimes it just isn't. I mean, most of the time, I think in my personal experience, it just isn't that easy to mend a relationship after, you know, years and years of just not being around. I mean, people don't always change, and it's extremely hard for people to change, especially if they don't see anything wrong with it. So yeah, no, I think he's wrong.
A good relationship with my father. Relationships are constant maintenance, and their work. And I know that parents can be toxic too. They can break your heart more than anyone else can. I'm not saying that your dad did, but maybe you should start today. Give him a call, invite him out for a coffee.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Father's Day coming up, dog.
That's not how it works.
And that is officially a wrap.
Hey!
I mean, some relationships, sure, yeah, but it's not always the case, you know.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That was interesting.
Jubilee. Oh, 2 pins. 3.
I think a couple of them that I feel like these three in the back right here had the best points. I think these three had the most I think neutral and I think good points and good takes throughout the whole thing. And I kind of wish I talked more throughout the whole thing, but you know, it was still good. This guy needs to just you know, I think he needs to talk to more people and get a better opinion, honestly. I did not like a lot of his takes, I'll be honest.